Hi, good morning. This is Srinivas sir. You are watching Untold Botany. In this session, I am going to discuss the ultrastructure of a typical prokaryotic cell. So, prokaryotic cell. Bacteria is an example for a typical prokaryotic cell. So, what it is prokaryote? First, prokaryotic cell means pro means primitive, karyon means nucleus. The organisms that have primitive nucleus are said to be prokaryotic cells. What it is primitive nucleus? Primitive nucleus means unorganized nucleus. However, DNA present representing the nucleus, only naked DNA present, which will not be further surrounded by nuclear membrane. And histone proteins are also absent. Histone proteins are the basic proteins which are associated with the genetic material of eukaryotes. Their association results in the formation of chromatin. That chromatin condenses and coils, resulting in the formation of chromosomes. So, chromosomes are not possible in the prokaryotes because there is no organization into chromatin, because histone proteins are absent. So, the cells that lack the nuclear membrane and histone proteins can be considered as prokaryotes if they are present eukaryotes. We, animal cells, plant cells, they come under eukaryotes. If histone proteins and this nuclear membrane not present, prokaryotes. Here, this is a prokaryotic cell. In the prokaryotic cell consists of a cell envelope. So, this is cell envelope. All this is cell envelope, like this, the border. Cell envelope is made up of 3 layers. Very clearly seen, I have drawn 3 layers. So, what are they? Outer layer is called glycocalyx. Second layer is called cell wall. And third layer is called cell membrane. So, like this, there are 3 layers in the cell envelope of a typical prokaryotic cell. So, what is the outermost layer? This is outermost layer. Outermost layer is called as glycocalyx. What is glycocalyx? Glycocalyx is the outermost layer of the prokaryotic cell. Again, that glycocalyx, it may be in the form of a slime layer, or it may be in the form of a capsule. Again, outermost layer of the cell envelope is glycocalyx. Glycocalyx is of 2 types. Some bacteria they have slime layer, some bacteria they have capsule in the place of glycocalyx. Means glycocalyx can be a slime layer or it may be a capsule. When we call capsule and when we consider as a slime layer, that is the question. If glycocalyx is attached loosely to the cell envelope, then such glycocalyx is called as slime layer. Slime layer, which is responsible for the preventing the bacteria from desiccation and the loss of nutrients. Whereas in the case of capsule, if the glycocalyx is attached firmly, tightly to the cell envelope, then that is considered as capsule. So, capsule gives a sticky and gummy nature. On the other hand, capsulated bacteria are pathogenic, virulent, whereas non-capsulated bacteria are avirulent, non-pathogenic. They do not cause diseases. And this presence or absence of the capsule is genetically decided or genetically determined, genetically fixed. If the bacteria it has capsule, that forms smooth colonies. If bacteria it lacks the capsule, that forms rough colonies. If they form smooth colonies, they're called as S type of bacteria. If they form rough colonies, they're called as R type of bacteria. S type of bacteria are virulent, whereas the R type of bacteria are avirulent, non-pathogenic. So like this, the outermost layer of the cell envelope of a prokaryotic cell is called as glycocalyx. It may be in the form of slime layer or in the form of capsule. So slime layer is loosely attached, capsule is tightly attached. And whatever it may be, slime layer or capsule that are made up of polysaccharides and even some proteins also, chemical composition. So coming to the second layer of the cell envelope, second layer is called cell wall. So bacteria is considered as plant cell because it exhibits cell wall. So presence of this cell wall is the plant character. Simultaneously, at the same time, bacteria can be considered as animal cell because it exhibits locomotion also. So presence of flagella says that it is a animal cell, but presence of the cell wall is plant character. So here cell wall present, but in general in the plant cell wall cellulose present, but here instead of cellulose peptidoglycans are present. Peptidoglycans are present. Peptidoglycans consist of two subunits known NAM, NAG, N-acetyl-muramic acid and N-acetyl-glucosamine. These are the derivative sugars, amino sugars, that are the subunits present in the peptidoglycans. So peptidoglycans are the cell wall components of the bacteria. The composition of the cell wall varies from bacteria to bacteria depending on the composition of bacterial cell wall. So bacteria can be differentiated into two categories like gram positive and gram negative. Gram positive and gram negative. The staining technique was developed by Christian Gram. Here, if you take the gram positive bacteria, in gram positive bacteria, cell wall is thickness 20 nm to 80 nm, very thick. Whereas the gram negative bacteria, that is only 8 to 12 nm or near about that. So, it is thin in the gram negative bacteria, whereas in gram positive bacteria, thick. And the concentration of the peptidoglycans also more here in the gram positive bacteria, up to 60 to 70%. Whereas in the gram negative bacteria, there the concentration of the peptidoglycans very less. That is near about 10 to 20% itself. On the other hand, gram positive bacteria, it consists of teichoic acid, which is not present in gram negative bacteria. So like this, there is a difference between the composition of gram positive bacteria, gram negative bacteria. So this difference in the composition of the cell wall leads to the differentiation of the bacteria into two categories known gram positive, gram negative. Actually, gram positive appear like what is that? What you can say? Bluish color. Otherwise, purple color. They appear purple color. Whereas the gram negative bacteria colorless. But colorless bacteria we cannot visualize. So to visualize the gram negative bacteria, we have add a counter stain that is called safranin. On addition of safranin, you can visualize the gram negative bacteria. Whereas the gram positive bacteria, they are visualized, they look purple color. So that is gram staining technique that we discuss in one another topic. So here, depending on the gram staining, bacteria can be differentiated into two types, like gram positive, gram negative. So there some differences are there in the cell wall composition. So gram positive bacteria consist of more peptidoglycans, whereas the gram negative bacteria consist of less peptidoglycans. And gram positive bacteria cell wall is thick, whereas the gram negative bacteria cell wall is thin. So the cell wall component is peptidoglycan, and that consists of NAM, NAG, N-acetyl muramic acid and N-acetyl glucosamine. So among the peptidoglycans, both the horizontal and vertical linkages are present in the case of gram positive bacteria, whereas in the case of gram negative bacteria, either horizontal or vertical linkages are present. Hence, gram positive bacteria, they form tight meshes, dense meshes, whereas the gram negative bacteria, they form loose meshes. Hence, the color can escape from the gram negative bacteria, as the only either horizontal or vertical linkages are present among the peptidoglycans. Whereas in the case of gram positive bacteria, both horizontal and vertical linkages are present. Hence, they form dense meshes so that color cannot escape, so that they look purple color and these look colorless. We add safranin to visualize. So that is called counter stain. The main stain is crystal violet. So bacteria can be stained with crystal violet, that is called main stain, whereas the safranin is called as counter stain. This is useful to visualize the gram negative bacteria. So that is about cell wall. Coming to the third one, innermost membrane of the cell envelope, that is nothing but plasma membrane. Plasma membrane is made up of lipids and proteins as usual. Plasma membrane is present in all types of cells. It may be plant cell, or it may be animal cell, it may be eukaryotic cell, it may be prokaryotic cell. Without exception, it is common to all. So the composition also same. Lipids and proteins are present. Here you can see the plasma membrane, some here and there, it forms invaginations into the cell. See, you can see here, invagination, a infolding. Plasma membrane is infolded. These infoldings are called as mesosomes. These are the specific cell organelles which are present in only bacteria or the prokaryotic cell. We cannot see these anywhere else. Mesosomes are the infoldings of the plasma membrane into the cytoplasm. So what is the function of these mesosomes? These mesosomes involve in various functions. For instance, bacteria generally, the common mode of reproduction is binary fission. At the time of binary fission, bacteria divides, resulting in the formation of two daughter cells. For that, mesosomes help. Two mesosomes are formed opposite to each another and they invade the center, cleaving the cytoplasm into two compartments. By that time, even that DNA also divides, means it replicates, resulting in the formation of two daughter DNAs that are equally distributed. Later, cell wall is laid down, two daughter cells are resulted. So like this, it involves in the binary fission, that is reproduction. So mesosomes involve in reproduction. One. And another is, mesosomes even they help in the replication of the DNA. So they involve in the replication, they involve in the binary fission, even they involve in the cell wall formation. So cell wall formation, that is secretory in nature, cell wall formation. Here many mesosomes are present. If these mesosomes are unfolded, actually mesosomes are infoldings. If they are unfolded, the surface area of the membrane will be increased. If surface area of the membrane is increased, mineral absorption will be increased. So mesosomes help to enhance the mineral absorption by increasing the surface area. So increasing the surface area, enhancing the mineral absorption, replication, binary fission, cell wall formation. Even some bacteria are photosynthetic. Actually, the double membrane or single membrane cell organelles are absent in the bacteria. Prokaryotes, they do not have any membrane bound cell organelles. Naked cell organelles like ribosomes only present. If chloroplast and mitochondria are absent in the prokaryote cell, how some bacteria are capable of photosynthesis and respiration? Yes, we know. Some bacteria are aerobic bacteria. So, what is needed for the aerobic respiration? Mitochondria. When mitochondria is absent here, how the bacteria are capable of carrying out aerobic respiration? Because the respiratory enzymes are located on the mesosomes only. Mesosomes act as mitochondria of the bacteria. So, they are called bacterial mitochondria. And coming to the photosynthesis also. In general, photosynthetic pigments present in the chloroplast. But here in the prokaryotic cell, chloroplast is absent. When chloroplast is absent, how the prokaryotic cells are capable of photosynthesis? Some phototropes and autotrophs are there now. Because here the pigments are present located on the mesosomes themselves. So mesosomes are involving in respiration, mesosomes are involving in photosynthesis, mesosomes are involving in replication, mesosomes are involving in binary fission, they are involving in cell formation, they increase the surface area, they enhance the mineral absorption, whatnot, many functions are there. So these mesosomes compensate some of the cell organelles present in eukaryotes. So that are the mesosomes which are nothing but infoldings of the plasma membrane into the cytoplasm, like this. And coming to the outgrowths, bacteria exhibit some outgrowths. How many types of outgrowths are present in the bacteria? There are 3 types of outgrowths are present. So what are they? You see, some outgrowths are very longer, whip-like longer outgrowths are there. These are called as flagella. The same is called flagellum. This is called flagellum. So flagellum is made up of flagellin protein. Flagellum is made up of flagellin. Actually, flagellum shows 9+2 arrangement of the microfibers. In the case of eukaryotes, we have seen 11 microfibers are there. Of that, 9 doublets are arranged peripherally and 2 singlets are present at the center in the case of eukaryotes. But in the case of prokaryotes, 9+2 arrangement is not present. Not present. So prokaryotic flagellum lacks the 9+2 array. And the flagellum is made up of flagellin, and flagellum is responsible for the locomotion. And coming to the one another outgrowth is pili. Pili. So pili is made up of pilin. Pilin is a protein which is present in pili. Pili are of various types. Of them, 1 and F type of pili, they are called sex pili. Sex pili means which are useful to transfer the genetic material from one bacteria to another bacteria during the process of conjugation. Here, these pili are tubular structures. At the time of conjugation, plus bacteria, minus bacteria come together, and plus bacteria produces a pili that connect to the minus bacteria. So a bridge is formed, conjugation tube. Through the tube, genetic material passes from plus bacteria to minus bacteria. So the pili which involves in sexual reproduction or conjugation are called F pili, and one even actually here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are and 8. This F is 8. 8 types of pili are present. Of them, 1 and F type of pili involved in reproduction, that is conjugation. And pili is made up of pilin. In general, other types of pili are there na? They involve in the clump formation. The bacteria, they form aggregations. Then they attach one another with the help of that pili. So it helps in the clump formation. And these two types help in the conjugation. That is about pili. One another type also there called bristles. Actually, they look like bristles. They're called fimbriae. Fimbriae are also a type of outgrowths which look like bristles. These are useful to attach the rocks or to attach the host. Most of the bacteria are pathogenic, parasitic. They feed on the host tissue. They attach the host tissue with the help of this fimbriae, like this: pili, fimbriae, and flagellum. There are 3 types of outgrowths. Coming to the flagellum, flagellum consists of 3 parts. This is called basal granule or blepharoplast. That is called base. And this is called hook. And whatever that comes out is called filament. So filament is present. Filament, hook, and a basal plate-like structure present. So there are 3 parts in the flagellum. Flagella arise from basal granule, which is called blepharoplast. Blepharoplast is the basal granule that produces flagellum. Coming to the nucleus of the prokaryotic cell. Actually, here nucleus is absent. Well organized nucleus is absent. But representing the nucleus, a naked DNA is present, like this. Actually, eukaryotic DNA is linear. If we take our chromosome will be like this, the linear genetic material. Whereas in prokaryotes, circular. See, no polarity. Both the poles are attached. So this is called circular double-stranded. However, circular double-stranded, sticky, non-polar chromosome. Non-polar. Actually, chromosome organization not present, but whatever the genetic material present, the same is considered as chromosome. So how many chromosomes are present in the prokaryotic cell? Single chromosome. And this chromosome, it is not linear. This is circular. And both ends are attached, sticky. So this is called sticky chromosome, non-polar chromosome, or bacterial chromosome, which is double-stranded, circular. And in the DNA, AT are more as compared to GC. AT content is more as compared to GC content. And histone proteins are absent. So histone proteins are altogether absent, and there is no definite nuclear membrane. Nuclear membrane also absent. No nuclear membrane, no histone proteins. That is why it is called naked DNA. So this chief genetic material which is present in the bacteria is called as genophore. It is called as what? Genophore. So genophore is the chief genetic material. The same is called incipient nucleus, primitive nucleus, non-polar chromosome, bacterial chromosome, sticky chromosome, circular chromosome, many other names are there. But the technical term, more technical term is genophore. Genophore is the chief genetic material which is double-stranded and circular present in the bacteria, where AT is rich as compared to GC. And here, in addition to this genophore, some here and there, double stranded, same circular and double stranded extranuclear DNA is also present. That extranuclear DNAs are called as plasmids. What are these? They are called as plasmids. Plasmid is the double stranded, circular, small, extranuclear, additional genetic materials which are present in the cytoplasm of the prokaryotic cells. These plasmids that discovered by the Lederberg, these find their application in biotechnology. They are used as vehicle DNAs or vector DNAs to transfer our genes of interest into the target organisms in the rDNA technology, recombinant DNA technology, so which is a great tool in the genetic engineering. These plasmids, they confer additional characters to the bacteria. For example, plasmids are there of various types, like if you take the plasmids, R plasmids, R plasmids are there, F plasmids are there, Col plasmids are there, Ti plasmids also there. R plasmids means resistant plasmids. The bacteria which have R plasmids, they develop resistance against the drugs and chemicals. Although you give antibiotics, they won't be killed because they have R type of plasmid. Because of that, they develop resistance against the drugs. F plasmids means which involve in the fertilization. As I mentioned, conjugation. In conjugation, genetic material is transferred from plus bacteria to minus bacteria. So, which involve in conjugation are called F plasmids. Whereas the COL plasmids, carcinogenic plasmids, actually colicins are the toxic compounds produced in E. coli. These are responsible for the synthesis of the colicins. Whereas the Ti plasmids, tumor inducing plasmids. In the case of Agrobacterium tumefaciens, Ti plasmids are present. When these plasmids are injected into the host, they convert the normal cells into cancerous cells. So, tumor inducing plasmids, they induce the tumors. Like this, they confer various phenotypic characters to the bacteria, plasmids. And here, where the genetic material is occupied, the space of the bacteria where it is occupied is called nucleoid. Nucleoid is the space of the prokaryotic cell which is occupied by this genophore. The chief genetic material is genophore, the additional genetic material is plasmid. And coming to the ribosomes and inclusive bodies. Ribosomes are one and only cell organelles which are present in the prokaryotic cell. Actually, either single membrane bound or double membrane bound cell organelles are absent in the prokaryotic cells. Ribosomes only present, ribosomes are naked cell organelles which are common to all the organisms, prokaryotes, eukaryotes, animals, plants, any. So that they are called universal cell organelles. And here in the bacteria, 70S type of ribosomes are present, which consist of two subunits like 30S and 50S. 30S and 50S type of subunits are present, 70S type. And you can see here, some here and there, small ribosomes, see, they are the ribosomes, some here and there they are present. And here a chain of ribosomes is present. So this is called polysome. Polysome is a group of ribosomes which are found attached to mRNA and which translate mRNA into a protein. So polysomes are present, ribosomes, and ribosomes are of 70S type. Apart from this, the prokaryotic cell, it consists of some inclusive bodies which are nothing but reserved food materials, otherwise gas vacuoles. The reserved food materials of the bacteria are glycogen granules, phosphate granules, phosphate granules, and in the case of blue-green algae, cyanophycean granules. These are present. These inclusive bodies are naked, which are not surrounded by any membrane, floating freely in the cytoplasm. And some other also there, like gas vacuoles in the case of photosynthetic bacteria. Gas vacuoles are having a membrane but which is not unit membrane, and even the polybeta hydroxybutyrate, all these are present in the prokaryotic cell which come under inclusive bodies. Inclusive bodies are in general not surrounded by any membrane. Like this, a prokaryotic cell exhibits this type of organization. In the case of blue-green algae, chromatophores are present which consist of chlorophyll pigments which involve in the photosynthesis. And these mesosomes, that infoldings present in many forms. And you know what are the functions of the mesosomes.